is Thursday, December 12th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. And now, a guy who always enjoys a big beef stick on his birthday, J.P. Shackler.
Welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour. It is December 12th. It is week 15. We've got a busy 2 hours ahead on the program. Jaguars Happy Hour is the first hour of that. We've got plenty to get to. It's week 15, of course. The Jets and the Jaguars both 3-10. The first matchup this season of mathematically eliminated teams. Will it be Aaron Rodgers' last trip to Jacksonville in the NFL? We'll get to that coming up. The Baptist Health Injury Report. When it comes down, we'll pass that along to you. And, of course, the Doug Pederson Show at 5 o'clock. We will have the head coach in studio, and we will ask him questions, as we do each and every Thursday.
All right, can we get to the open here, okay? Happy birthday.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
How old today?
Old enough to know better.
Come on, you're not a girl.
I'm 43.
43. Happy birthday. And by the way,
going on 29.
I want to clarify the meat stick. Don't want anybody to get confused. I gave you a Wagyu, Snake River Farms Wagyu, kind of a beef jerky stick.
Yes.
For your birthday.
Similar to a Slim Jim.
Yes, but way better.
Much better.
It's actually
no offense to Slim
Wagyu beef stick.
It was good.
Pretty good, right?
Thanks for that.
You're very welcome. That. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
I couldn't quite get the candle in there.
That's difficult to do. and a fire hazard here at the Miller Electric Center, too. Don't need that. All right, let's get to it. Jaguars coming off a win. Trying to get another one. If they do it, it's 2 in a row. And, both teams at 3-10. This is a Jeff Lageman Bowl, by the way. The Jets and the Jaguars get together. You don't know. Throw the records out the window.
Well, I mean, the Kyle Brady Bowl, I think, would be better, right? Look, the home stretch for the Jaguars is what it is. It's against a bunch of teams that don't have a lot of wins. And it kind of started last week with Tennessee, and Tennessee had been struggling scoring points all year long. They struggled to score points in that game, due in large part to the Jaguars' defensive performance. They picked it up a notch from where they had been playing. So credit them. And this week, a little different animal. You have a team that doesn't have the record, but you have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And he has the ability to score a lot of points in an area that the Jaguars' defense – quite frankly, has struggled in, which is stopping the pass game. Now, Aaron Rodgers still has a Hall of Fame type arm. He doesn't have the Hall of Fame type protection, and he doesn't have the Hall of Fame type of mobility that he once had. But he's got two outstanding players, and that's what concerns me the most for this Jaguars team, because Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams are high-end players with a high-end arm that's still there. With a quarterback that I think wants to show everybody that he can still play. And it's going to be a challenging game.
We saw a lot last week. The younger players, a new lineup in the secondary, and guys rotate in all the time. We get that. But
I was kind of, when it happened, I was like, wow.
Wow. Look
okay,
at this.
I've been kind of waiting for this.
So, and then that also meant that some other guys were getting some time. Jarian Jones continues to ascend a little bit. Young player.
Had a nice
rookie.
game. Had a nice game.
That's fine. But for a lot of these young guys that are getting out there for the first time, it might be their first opportunity to see Aaron Rodgers in person against them.
Yeah, and look, the reality is that there's going to be a lot of timing throws, a lot of throws that young players – I can put it this way. If they think they've arrived last week against Will Levis, they have no idea. And I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is the top of the food chain quarterback this year, because he's not. But he is a whole different level than Will Levis. The commitment to the pass game is a whole different level with Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
He could just outthink you.
Watch Garrett Wilson last week. I mean, he took Jalen Ramsey to school on multiple occasions. And Davante Adams has the quickest release in the National Football League. I mean, you talk to all the top corners in the league, and they will tell you that's the most challenging thing with Davante Adams, is because his release is so good and still a high-end player. So I think this is going to be a challenging game for the Jaguars defense. The Jets play really good defense. We haven't even gotten to them yet.
We'll get to them.
And
there's a lot to get to.
The Jaguars offense hasn't exactly been a point-scoring machine lately.
No, they haven't. They've been far from it.
Challenging game this week.
It certainly is. But, hey, an opportunity here at home. Throwback uniforms.
Prowlers, man, the Prowlers.
The whole deal. That'll be nice.
Yeah, the Prowlers look.
They won at them last. I don't care what they wear. As long
Need
as
to start
they
wearing
win.
them all the time. I mean, if you look at their record in the Prowlers, right? What's the record so far?
1-0.
Oh, and that was probably
Colts
the
game.
best performance of the year against the Colts.
That was a wild game.
Wouldn't you say? I mean, offensively, defensively, everything. That was the best performance of the year.
Seems like it.
So it's not the shoes, as Spike Lee would say. It's the Prowlers.
Got to have the Prowlers.
Got to have the Prowlers. I like it.
Got to have them. They'll have them this week. Ladies, join us at Everbank Stadium Sunday, December 29th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for a lively and fun-filled Glitz and Blitz brunch. Enjoy delicious pastries, refreshing mimosas, and a special appearance by The Roar and a Jags legend. Who that could be. Be sure to grab your tickets now at jaguars.com/glitz and blitz. And it's a perfect gift for your wife or girl.
I'm not a mimosa fan. Are you?
Sure. No, it's not my go-to.
I'd rather have a Bloody Mary.
You know, if when in Rome, maybe.
Yeah, when in Rome,
Have a
Bloody Mary.
have something else then, okay? So we're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. That's Jeff Lageman. I'm
With a
JP
strip
Shadrick.
of bacon in it.
Oh, yes, now we're talking. all the additional things.
Little Tabasco.
I was in New Orleans
Piece of celery.
I was in New Orleans the other month coming back from an LSU game, and Jags were playing on Monday, right? So I stayed Sunday and had brunch in New Orleans, and this Bloody Mary comes out. It's got shrimp on it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
bacon.
I don't
like,
want shrimp, though.
massive,
I don't want shrimp.
Over the top.
I don't want seafood in my Bloody Mary.
Pretty good.
But the bacon, yeah. Give me take the shrimp off and just give me extra bacon pieces in the Bloody Mary. So, I mean, for real, I mean, who doesn't like bacon? In fact, if you want to do like how you know,
Vegetarians probably don't.
here's a great idea. You know how like some drinks they give you like a lemon or a lime that's like got the little cut in the slice and it's on the rim of the glass.
I'm aware of how this works. Yes.
It'd be great if they took big chunks of fried pork belly and did the same thing, kind of put them on the edge of the glass.
Don't be giving away your secrets when you open your restaurant, man. You can like
Pork belly
have your
is
own.
money.
There's plenty to discuss here. Is there, though? I mean, this is tough, right? There's 4 weeks to go. The team's out of it.
First game of the year, right?
They're trying to find some kind of something to hang their hat on here.
First game of the year between two teams that are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Ugh.
So what's your motivation?
And, I mean, both teams had so much hope going into the season, too.
Well, and the Jets started out pretty good. I mean, they started out, I think, 2-1.
Yeah.
And then they lost a couple games, and then oddly they fired their coach. And
Because they lost in London, and he threw 3 picks in that game, and then they whacked solid.
wow, that was weird. Woody Johnson.
And the GM got it, a few weeks later?
Recently got the GM, and now you have Phil Savage as the acting interim general manager for the New York Jets. The interesting thing is that Woody Johnson did not hire the two of them. I don't believe. I think he was still an ambassador and was not in his role with the Jets. And his brother, Chris, I think it is the one who hired the two of them. So maybe Woody just didn't appreciate the hire that his brother did. I don't know.
But it goes to show you, like, an early season coaching change, that rarely turns things around. I mean, it's not like they found a spark from that.
No, they got nothing
mean?
from it.
Nothing. Zero.
Look, Robert Saleh, we know Robert. I mean, Robert was here as a linebackers coach, high-quality guy, even-keeled. What's not to like about that? I could understand maybe if he had some kind of major coaching snafu, or he was erratic or unreliable or had some kind of major problem, but that's not Robert. And so Ulbrich, the linebackers coach, defensive coordinator, is now taken over as the interim head coach and hadn't gotten any better, and as you wouldn't expect it to. But, you know, the Jets were one of the main focal points, I think, in the entire league this year, just because Aaron Rodgers, 40 years old, starting the season out, playing with the Jets last year, first game of the year, torn Achilles, wasn't able to play the rest of the year. And so the attention on the Jets all off season leading up to this season was intense. And they spent a lot of resources to build a team around Aaron Rodgers, kind of all in with one guy. And leading up to the season, I'll never forget when Aaron didn't show up for the mandatory minicamp.
That's right.
What the hell's he doing? You're claiming to be all in. And
was that the darkness retreat that he went on? Or was that
no. He just went somewhere else to like some
Whatever
crazy place or vacation that he said he had planned. Well, last time I checked, if you got a job, man, you might want to be there for it. How he was elected captain by that team, I don't know. I mean, when you don't show up to the mandatory minicamp and you're the QB.
Come on, it's Aaron Rodgers. You're not going to make him not a captain.
No, I know, but I mean, the whole point of being a captain is that you do captain things, which is show up for a minicamp. Be a leader. Be there for your guys, right? I mean, not to worry about vacationing. You vacation 2 more days later, and you're making enough money, but I think he's made like $380 million. So you leave 2 days later, charter a private jet and go to where you wanted to go and stay an extra 2 days. And even if you had plans, so what? Change them.
So you wouldn't have voted for him for captain, it sounds like.
Hell no. No way. If it was a team vote, he wouldn't have gotten my vote. No way. I mean, if you're going to be a captain, you show up to the mandatory minicamp like everybody else does. Just my thought, my 2 cents.
Did you show up for all the mandatory stuff?
Yes, absolutely.
But the mandatory, you were like,
the non-mandatory report date 1995, I did not show up.
You didn't show up for that one.
But that was not mandatory.
Were you a captain?
That was not a mandatory report date.
Okay. They made it seem like it was.
Well, Coughlin made everybody feel like that it was a mandatory report date.
Okay. But
it wasn't.
Hey, by the way, the Jets have the longest active playoff appearance drought of all 4 major sports in the U.S.
14 years?
14 years now in a row they haven't been. The Buffalo Sabres, 13 years they've missed in the NHL, and the L.A. Angels in Major League Baseball, 10 years.
Oof.
14 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. That's not a good stat.
I mean, the Jags were right there.
The only thing that the Jets have going for them right now in New York, because I played in New York, as you know, is that the Giants are worse.
Right? How bad is the football in the city this year? My gosh.
I mean, because it's always kind of a comparison, and the Giants are obviously the franchise that's been there a longer period of time. They have more Super Bowls, more recent success. And so the Jets have always kind of been that redheaded stepchild a little bit. Nothing against redheads. I think redheads are beautiful.
Okay.
But just from experience of being up there, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So when you're with the Jets or with the Giants, you always want the other team to be worse. And in this case, the Giants have banners flying around when they play that says, "Fix the dumpster fire." Not so good. Not so good in New York.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's not so good. But hey, Western New York is different now.
Yeah, those guys are playing well.
The team that many people thought was not going to be good, and the only true team that plays in New York, the Buffalo Bills, are on a roll.
We've got plenty to get to. We're back in a moment, and we'll get into Mac Jones and his performance, especially in the fourth quarter. And he loves to see the Jets in the schedule. Loves it. Eats it up.
Well, he's very familiar with them.
He's very successful against them. It's just everybody else who's had some issues.
You're going to throw some numbers out there when we come back?
When we come back.
All right.
Mac Jones.
I'll give you some numbers, too.
I can't wait to hear them. This week's game presented by Hyundai. Get a great deal on a new Hyundai at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on Jaguars Radio.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elase, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elase.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
Big savings?
Yep, which means...
It's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023, CY Industry reported total sales.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
What's Here is a place that generations have trusted to help their kids grow up healthy and strong. What's Here are caregivers with knowledge and expertise rivaling any children's hospital in the world. What's Here is the only Level 1 pediatric trauma center in our region. What's Here is Wolfson Children's Hospital, with the technology, research, and dedication to save and change countless young lives. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
Jaguars fans, huddle up for the best defense against expensive car repairs, CarShield. Score big with the nation's #1 automotive protection company, CarShield. They offer affordable plans covering repairs on up to 5,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Don't miss any Jaguars action this season with a car breakdown. Call 800-471-1223. Coverage varies by plans. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com. Does propane power your home or business? Count on Amerigas for expert propane delivery with a neighborly smile. At Amerigas, the official propane partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, their drivers deliver for Duval. Their local team will keep your home or business running smoothly throughout football season and beyond. Call 844-PRO-JAGS for a free propane quote today. Grilling this tailgate season? Visit Amerigas.com to find your closest cylinder exchange location and keep it teal with a custom Jaguars wrapped grill tank.
Yeah, I hope so. It's definitely the NFL's top defense, in my opinion. Over my career so far, they're the best defense I've gone against each year. Not only players, but scheme and coaching. Obviously, they're familiar with me, and I have some former teammates over there, and guys I've played against 5-6 times. So definitely looking forward to it. They've done a good job this year. I know the record's the same, but really their defense is one of a kind, and I got a lot of respect for those guys over there.
That is Michael McCorkle-Jones, Jaguars quarterback, the rest of the way. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman from the Hyundai Studios, the Miller Electric Center, 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube, all the places. Mac Jones will get his fourth start with the Jaguars this week against a Jets team that, as he mentioned right there, he knows well after being in the AFC East for the early part of his career. Mac Jones loves seeing the Jets on the schedule, loves it, eats it up. He's 5-0 as a starter against the Jets in his career. 69% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, a rating just above 95. Oh, those were against Zach Wilson, though.
Pretty good. But against Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
Where's he at now?
I don't know.
The second overall pick behind our very own Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that's right.
Mac Jones has definitely done well against the Jets.
With the Broncos. Sorry. He's with the
Broncos. The Broncos now? Is that where he's at now?
That's right. He's not playing.
Okay.
Nix is playing.
I hope that Mac can have the kind of success against the Jets that he's had in the past. I think it's going to be a challenge because over the last 3 starts with the Jaguars, the output has been below average. And I hope he can find a rhythm. The more a guy plays, the better he's going to play and the more comfort level that they're going to feel. But, I thought that, and the reality is, how many points has he scored in 3 starts?
Not many.
23?
Yeah, not many.
If you look at his last – I was just looking at the numbers. His last 7 games as a starter, he's averaged 10 points a game. I mean, so you're going to need –
4 last year, obviously, with New England.
Right. You're going to have to score more than 10 points to beat a Jets team. And the Jets always have a goal. Aaron Rodgers talked about it extensively after this latest loss to the Miami Dolphins, that their goal each and every week is to score 30. And they haven't done it yet this year. I think the most they scored is 26 or 27 at some point this year. But they have the ability to put 30 on a team. I don't think there's any doubt. You're going to have to score some points this week, because I think that Aaron Rodgers will lead the Jets to some points against the Jaguars defense that had a good outing last week, but for the most part has been struggling throughout the year, especially against the pass. And you think that maybe some of the changes they've recently made will help, but the reality is, let's see it against a better offense, and this week is a better offense.
The Jaguars last week threw twice in the direction of Brian Thomas Jr. in the first half.
Yes, 2 targets.
No catches in the first half, but then fed him in the second half, and imagine that. They got some passes to him and moved the ball in key moments late, certainly in the fourth quarter. Big catch before the touchdown run, all those things for Brian Thomas Jr. How do they expand that to just not the fourth quarter? I mean, just throw it to him earlier? I mean, how do you do that without overkilling it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you force the ball to a great player. You don't just let the organic way get the ball to Brian Thomas. I mean, it's shown. I mean, if you look at every game so far this year, when the offense has struggled, it has been picked up when Brian Thomas Jr. gets the ball. And shocked that he only had 2 targets, but again, you had 3 possessions in the first half alone. That was it at that game in Tennessee. Now, you had a lot of plays, and some of those, I think one was a 13-play drive, another one was a 9. Another one was a 6-play drive, so you had some plays there, but just not a lot of drives. And Doug Pederson addressed that earlier, and he's spot on. Press Taylor talked about that as well, is that sometimes, look, you go to the line of scrimmage with the idea of the plays designed to go to Brian Thomas Jr., but maybe the quarterback sees that play's not going to work and he checks out of it. Or the quarterback drops back, sees a little bit of pressure, eyes drop, which is, I think, was a little bit of a problem for Mac in the first half. And he actually talked about it this week in his press conference about his eyes dropping. And then when your eyes drop as a quarterback, you can't see who's open anyway. And essentially the play is dead because now the quarterback with his eyes dropped becomes solely a runner. That's something that Mac has to work at, is that don't become just a runner. Keep your eyes up, be a running threat, but also have the ability to get rid of the ball when you can. So he's got to be better, and I think by design they've got to be better in the second half, because Brian Thomas Jr. right now is a really good football player. And you've got some guys that I think are going to be fun to watch this week because, look, Parker Washington's a good football player too. You know, you want to get the ball to all these guys, but the reality is that the quarterback has to do a better job for those guys to get the ball, and the offensive line has to do a better job.
I was gonna ask you about the offensive line, and
I thought their performance was pretty good this past
couple
week.
Weeks.
I mean, there was a couple plays that weren't great. You know, Arden Key was kind of a free rusher one time, which was a mistake. You can't have that. But I thought overall they did a pretty good job, and kudos to Cole Van Lanen.
I mean, what a performance, just stepping in last second.
Heck.
Right?
Well, I mean, for people that don't know, look, when you're a backup during the week, you're not getting a lot of reps. If you're the expected starter in a backup, then you're going to get reps because the starter's not expected to play, so he's not getting the reps. And Cole Van Lanen was expected to be a backup. And then all of a sudden, game day, all of a sudden arrives, and Anton Harrison's sick, can't play. Oh, hey, Cole, guess what? You're starting without a lot of reps during the week, and to do what he did. Great job by him. And also, let's not forget that he was the highest-rated player in the preseason if you looked at the grades by PFF for offensive linemen. One of the reasons why he earned a roster spot is because he earned it with his performance in the preseason, which was very good. And he played exactly that way in that game in Tennessee.
How'd Walker Little do?
Did a good job. I like what he's doing. I mean, ever since he's been starting, he's done a very good job. Very good job.
And since signing the extension, too, let's be honest.
Yeah, and that's obviously just a little bit after
I know,
he became the starter. But I mean,
yeah.
He's been doing a good job. And And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I really like what he does in the run game. He finishes really well. And he's only going to get better in pass protection. The more reps that he gets, the more comfortable he gets with his footwork and his hands, kind of doing all of that. And then also just going against guys in game situations, you know. The one thing that, you know, you want to make sure that you see is the durability, which has been a little bit of a question with him in the past, and the ability to stay healthy, and that's why I knock on wood. I don't want to jinx him.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
there is wood in here somewhere.
Is it real wood, you
It's
think?
inside there.
It's a particle board.
It's probably,
Does that count?
Yeah, that counts. There's wood in there. It's like, it's like laminate on particle board.
Okay, I'll take your word
But
for
that
it.
is wood.
Thanks.
In there somewhere.
Plenty ahead. Register your furry friend for the Jaguars official four-legged fan club for pets presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. Your pet will receive access to exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout this season. Visit jaguars.com/promotion/four-legged fan club and sign up today. We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. Coming up, Kai Stevens will join us after the timeout. Then at 5 o'clock, of course, the Doug Pederson Show will have the head coach in studio. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading healthcare and technology organizations nationwide to deliver workforce solutions. CSI prides itself on building meaningful relationships and provides personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Hey, Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a ZipChair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Don't you love the sounds of the holiday season? The bells, the sleighs. Woohoo! If so, your holiday's now even more magical because now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, you can take home your favorite Hyundai with some of the season's greatest savings.
Drive away now in the Santa Fe with 1.99% APR for 72 months. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offer ends January 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Still Aaron. I mean, it can be highly efficient, highly effective. Still can throw, accurate footballs. Quick release, probably doesn't move quite as well as he once did, but he's still an elite quarterback, and that's something you got to prepare for.
Welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour. That's head coach Doug Pederson discussing Aaron Rodgers. And PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube, Jets, Jaguars coming up Sunday. Kai Stevens will be there as well. Hi, Kai.
Hello. Those are a lot of things you just mentioned.
The long list. Got to get through them all.
You got it down. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for coming in today. We had a mimosa / Bloody Mary conversation earlier. Where do you stand?
I was sad I missed the brunch talk because I'm a big brunch fan.
Well, let's start it up again. There's never a bad time for that. Where do you stand? Mimosa or Bloody Mary?
Mimosas usually. I also like Bellinis, which are peach mimosas.
Huh?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's instead of orange juice, it's like peach. Like it's usually a little.
It's not peach schnapps and champagne.
I mean, if you want it to be, it can. But Bellinis are good.
That'd be a little much.
I like a Bloody Mary occasionally. Not my favorite because it's almost like eating a little bit because like with all the stuff that comes with it, I feel like it's like a little meal in itself with the tomato.
Bacon.
Of course, bacon. Of course, bacon. Has to be a little bacon.
I love that.
Bacon on the top.
Heck yeah. And how do they? Sometimes they make the bacon like a straw.
I haven't seen
Whoever
that.
came up with that is genius.
But that sounds smart.
It really does. I mean, it's like a swirled bacon stick straw.
I have no doubt that Jeff Lageman.
I haven't seen Jeff this happy in a long time.
Pretty cool.
Talking about pork fat. So here we are, 2 teams 3-10. Kai, the first meeting of 2 teams officially eliminated this season in the NFL.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fun.
Yeah, Jets and Jags. And Aaron Rodgers, we just heard from head coach Doug Pederson there. We'll talk to him at 5 o'clock about this too, I'm sure. But, I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, 20 years in the league, and a lot of these young defenders might get their first glance at the Hall of Famer.
I'm sure it will be very eye-opening for them. I know he's 41 at this point, but just his intelligence, the way he plays the game, and the way he sees things and where he can pinpoint drop the ball in will be, I'm sure, very eye-opening for them.
I wonder if Brian Thomas Jr. is going to ask him to swap jerseys after the game.
He should.
I mean, that was like his guy.
He's very much. That was like the jersey he has as a kid. Yeah. Big fan.
That was his main guy, was Aaron Rodgers, which is pretty cool to be able to go against
and actually play
a guy that you grew up kind of being a big fan of. I didn't get that.
If Brian scores 2 touchdowns and the Jags win, like, would Aaron be like, no, not doing that?
Is it a prearranged? How does this work, actually, Jeff? Is this prearranged before the game? Like, how do they do that?
I think that would probably be like an agent thing. I've never done that. Like, that whole thing kind of started
newish
after my era.
That's a really new phenomenon. I think within the last 5-7 years. I don't.
But it's like constant every time now. It's like 40 people do it.
Maybe the agents kind of communicate, hey, so and so would really like to swap jerseys with your guy. Is that okay? And Aaron's a little different now.
Well, that's what I mean. That's like a whole different aura of person. Like it's one thing. It's like, oh, we both went to Georgia or something, and then we switch. It's like, no, it's a different thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird there, right? I mean, would you feel comfortable asking Aaron Rodgers to swap jerseys if you were Brian? I mean, I would have the agent try, but like doing that directly, that'd be weird.
I don't know. Maybe you try to feel out the pregame, go say hi, and then see where he's at.
Big
and then
fan, I don't know what you say to the guy. I have no idea how you do that.
Like, let me get your jersey.
I don't know. That'd be weird, though.
I bet he's like, you know what? I'll send you one later. I don't think he's going to take his pads off on the field and do it.
I don't know. I mean, you never know. You never know.
Maybe nobody's asked.
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
Maybe that's
you don't ever know unless you ask.
Right.
True.
Right. So you hope that Brian can swap jerseys and he signs and says 8 for 150, 3 TDs. BTJ.
Happy retirement.
There you go. And then give it to him.
Yeah.
Have a career high game, right?
That'd be nice to see.
Break the rookie yardage record. What does he got to get for receptions? 11 for the rookie record, too?
The Jaguars rookie record.
Yes. I think it's 11.
Yeah.
So he needs 11 catches, 15 yards, and 1 touchdown to own the Jaguars rookie receiving records.
For all 3. Yeah.
And he's got 4 games to do it.
All right.
So.
All right.
It's good. It's
Seems
looking good.
doable.
It's looking good. So, Jaguars Defense, we talked about that against Aaron Rodgers, but now Mac Jones getting another start, 5-0 against the Jets all
Jet
time.
killer.
Kills
Yes.
them. Absolutely. So those were against Zach Wilson. But Mac's got a, early in that game last week, not great again, and the starts hasn't been great statistically.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to outshoot the Jets in this game. It's going to have to be another defensive situation, which I know it's the Titans, so you don't want to give too much credit to that. Kept him out of the end zone, but also just some encouraging things that I saw. The younger guys playing, obviously Jarian in there, had a great day, career day for his young career so far. We're also seeing more time for, I think Mason Smith was out there a little bit more. Obviously, Antonio Johnson was in at safety a decent amount. So some of the stuff we've been talking about for a couple weeks that we might like to see, they seem to be doing that now. So we'll see if that works.
I want to see the Jaguars in 2 tight end sets more often. I want to see.
And
Brenton
why don't
Strange
they? Because I know you love Brenton Strange.
Yes.
So I won't make you wax too poetic on him. But it is interesting to me. Like, I never feel like they throw to him and he has a drop or anything. But every time they go to him for any play, and it's not very often, he comes through. So I don't know why you wouldn't give him more opportunities.
He had the one catch for 21 yards and kind of a crazy stat. The tight ends in the league, typically average around 10 yards a catch. And his average is right at 11.1, but limited opportunities. And for a tight end to get a big gain, which is not very common, so they track that. So amongst tight ends in the National Football League, Brenton has 6 catches for 20-plus yards.
Big play guy. We love
Where
it.
would that place him amongst tight ends in the National Football League? Care to guess?
Currently?
Yeah.
So how many is there?
He has 6 catches of 20-plus yards.
Top
Probably
3?
pretty high. Right?
Top 3?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's at 4.
Is Evan in there or no?
I don't remember.
Not this year.
Evan is not in there. But it's like the top tight ends in the league.
Kelsey and Kittle. And
so I just want to see him because Evan's kind of a wide receiver anyway.
Well, Evan's hurt or has been hurt this
I hope
week,
he's going
right?
to be all right.
Yeah, we all do. But
teams treat him like a wide receiver. So, leave him both. I like both of them.
I'd love to use both of them. But
if
Evan's still banged up and we do see more Brent Strange, that would be great. Use him in the same place you're using Evan for.
I'm all for Brenton Strange getting reps. I think he's a good player. And I love the way he blocks, love the way he does the dirty work. Love it. My favorite player. And he'd get me an 85.
Favorite player?
Yeah, he's my favorite Jaguars player.
We knew that.
Not Shatley anymore?
No. Shatley's on practice squad.
Really?
Got demoted.
He's not an active roster. We all love Shatley.
He is in my my favorite
Hall of
room of all time Jaguars, right? He's in that room.
Who
Shatley.
else is in there?
He's
Who's
like
the
in
Mount
the Hall
Rushmore of Jeff's favorites? All time.
Blaine Gabbert.
No, not Blaine. I love Bortles. Just love the guy.
All right, Bortles is up.
Just a guy.
So
just is a good dude. Love him. One of the guys that was one of my all-time favorites is actually a coach for the New York Jets now.
Is he?
Brant Boyer, their special teams coordinator.
Okay.
He's one of my favorite of all time. Not Baselli or Fred Taylor or none of those guys.
Overrated.
Too common. You got to dig deep.
Everybody likes them. But yeah, Brant Boyer is one of my favorite of all time because he was a special teams guy, great teammate, had a great personality in the locker room, was very unique in that way. Montel Owens, a guy, Alan Hearns. Some of these guys that just did, they played the game the right way. I'd love to come up with a list.
Sounds like an all Madden team.
I have to go back and look at the
This time
roster.
next week, we'll regroup. You can give me your top 4.
I will do that. I will look at some rosters and give some guys that weren't the most notorious a little bit of love because of the way they played the game. That'd be a good one.
I'm looking forward to it.
Kyle, you ready to sell some Ford trucks?
I am.
Looking for the MVP of the truck game? Better check out the 2024 Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and game-changing tech. You can dominate work, play, and everything in between. Test drive an F-150 at your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Game-changing tech.
Yes, yeah. Dominate.
The truck
work,
game.
play, and everything.
MVP.
We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube, JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, Kaidani Stevens. Jaguars All Access Television tonight, String Sports Brewery in Springfield. There's now 2 locations, one at the beach that's open now, but this is in Springfield.
The OG.
Yes.
The OG location.
Well, who you got tonight?
Well, speaking of tight ends, we have Evan Ingram with us tonight.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. It's always a good conversation.
He's always great. Yes.
Looking forward to that.
On the injury report?
He's my second
Yes.
favorite Jaguar.
Did he practice today?
He did not practice today either. We'll get to that coming up, the full report. But, all right, Evan Ingram, a lot going on with him. And he's a guy that can tell you, where the focus of this team is with four games to go as well.
That'll work.
I think so.
Yes, always a voice for the team and a voice of reason, which we appreciate.
Yes. We need a lot
by
of
the
that.
way, he became my second favorite player with the response to Al-Shaair.
Second favorite?
Yes. Okay. Because Brenton Strange was the second one in there just because he was a little bit farther away.
Oh, okay.
Also
but
fun.
He's your number one player.
Yes. Well, we heard also, which was fun, a lot of $17 donations to Evan's My Cause, My Cleats because of everyone enjoyed his response to Trevor.
Good
getting
for
hurt,
him.
standing
How
up
about
for
some
Trevor as well.
$1,700 donations to that? Come on, JP, pony up.
I was going to say, Jeff, you got a checkbook.
Look over here for that.
Obviously, you're not spending any money on razors.
You either, by the way.
I trimmed my
Glass
beard.
houses.
That's like you looking.
I thought about it this morning, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Just mailing it in. You got a whole month left. Just mailing
it
in.
in.
Wait till another month.
JP, that's a game of want. JP, he don't want it no more.
This is how people get hurt, JP. You can't just go through the motions.
Looks in the mirror. Nah, I'm not going to shave today.
Yeah. Looks like I hiked the
my
Appalachian
birthday.
Trail
I don't need to shave. It's my birthday.
Unbelievable.
Did you wish him a happy birthday?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I'm a bad friend.
Thanks, guy.
Golly.
I expect nothing less.
I mean, you wouldn't want something different, right? I
No,
have to poke fun at you like I normally do.
Buy him a razor.
Man.
With and put some shaving cream in a pile and put a candle in it and light it. That'd be perfect for him.
Maybe we'll do birthday Bloody Marys. We can do that.
Now we're talking.
There
See, you're not invited, Logs.
Okay.
How about that?
Well,
you're uninvited.
How about if I bring the bacon straws?
There we go. Then you're back in.
Good
You're back in.
Wings tonight? What are you doing?
Of course.
Yeah.
Alabama Whites. It's the only way to go.
I don't know. We'll see when we get there. I can't commit. When I see the menu, I change my mind a lot.
I'm consistent as the day is long.
We know. He's got a standing order.
Give me a little side bucket of that sauce and just bury that whole wing in there and then, yeah.
It's very descriptive.
Got to have a bib and be over the table.
If you need a bib to eat it, that's why I don't usually sign up for that.
That's why you know. By the way, shaving cream is flammable, so don't put the candle in there.
Are you sure about that? Not all.
Certain kinds.
Not all.
Certain kinds.
We'll get the kind that's not for you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home. Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zip Chair furniture for fans. Kai, great to see you.
Thank you for having me, as always.
We'll talk to you. Have a good show tonight. Back in a moment, injury report, including Evan Ingram listed, and final thoughts. Then at 5 o'clock, the Doug Pederson Show, the head coach in studio. It is Jaguars Happy Hour.
Looking for the perfect place to host a business trip, corporate group, or social gathering? Look no further than the award-winning Sheraton Jacksonville Hotel, proudly part of the Marriott family of hotels. Centrally located next to the St. John's Town Center off Gate Parkway in JTB, they offer everything you need, whether you're hosting a meeting or just unwinding with friends at the BC Grill and Patio. Discover unmatched comfort and convenience. Visit SheratonJacksonville.com for exclusive game day special rates and book your stay today.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
Big savings?
Yep, which means...
It's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY industry reported total sales.
Unlock your potential. at the University of North Florida. A beautiful campus with an inspiring environment for learning, UNF is a key partner to Florida's booming industries, providing students with direct access to internships and jobs. Set a new course at UNF and soar into your future. Visit unf.edu to learn more.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Does propane power your home or business? Count on AmeriGas for expert propane delivery with a neighborly smile. At AmeriGas, the official propane partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, their drivers deliver for Duval. Their local team will keep your home or business running smoothly throughout football season and beyond. Call 844-PRO-JAGS for a free propane quote today. Grilling this tailgate season? Visit AmeriGas.com to find your closest cylinder exchange location and keep it teal with a custom Jaguars wrapped grill tank.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elase, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elase.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
I say this year is the most comfortable I've been. My past 2 years, it really helped me. My second year definitely helped me. I got the most experience that year and last year. So that carried over to this year, and I just feel comfortable out there. And, the game has slowed down, obviously. And, I gained more football knowledge, and I just know what's coming, and I feel more comfortable.
Monteric Brown got a start at corner last week in the win over the Titans. 5 tackles, 2 passes defensed, and I spoke with the media earlier this week. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour from the Hyundai Studios on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Thanks to Kai Stevens. She'll be with you tonight at Strings.
And by the way, I'm not sure about Evan Ingram tonight. Just want to get that out there. We're working on some clarity there.
Efforting.
Yes.
We are efforting.
Want to get that out there. By the way, Monteric Brown.
Yes.
Long time coming, in my opinion, for him to get the start.
He's had some moments, right? And when he's played, he's been, good in spots, but hey, let's see it more, right?
And I know, look, they signed Ronald Darby to be the starter as a free agent, and we also know that there's not a depth chart, according to Ryan Nielsen.
Okay, I forgot about that. That's right.
But there is.
You have
some guys that start and some guys that don't, and some guys have earned the play time this year. And Monteric is one of them. He's played better than Ronald Darby. Antonio Johnson got the start over Cisco. Cisco has had some mental errors that have been costly, and still playing, still in the rotation, but not getting the start. And that's, look, as much as you want to sit there and talk about the rotation, Ryan Nielsen does that often. The reality is that there are starters and there are non-starters in the National Football League. And if you wonder about that, just look at the pay. The pay kind of tells you who's a starter and who's not, for the most part. Not always, because some guys are young and don't make as much as a veteran guy, but the reality is that there is a depth chart in the National Football League, whether that's official or not.
Time now for the injury report presented by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. And the Jaguars have 4 players on the injury report this week. Left guard Ezra Cleveland with a knee issue, limited Wednesday and Thursday in practice. Tight end Josiah DeGuara with a shoulder issue, limited both days. Tight end Evan Ingram with a shoulder issue has not practiced yet this week, Wednesday or Thursday.
That's a concern.
It is. And Brandon Sheriff, the right guard with a knee/shoulder issue, limited both days.
Knee, shoulder, ankle,
all 2,000 body parts.
He's tough.
That's right. And he's been
Ezra's
like
tough.
this for a
Ezra's
while.
tough too. Let me just go ahead and add him in there too, because he has the knee now, but he had a high ankle earlier in the year that he's been gritting it through. So I give him and Sheriff both a lot of credit. They have definitely passed the tough guy test.
Evan Ingram has not practiced this week. It's concerning. Tight end.
It is. Doug said coming out of the game that he had a shoulder, and it was encouraging in his Wednesday's press conference yesterday. He said something to the effect of, Evan should be good. So we'll see, because things change. When you don't practice on a Wednesday, you don't practice on a Thursday, it makes the radar go up a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll see. But he's a veteran guy. Veteran guys a lot of times don't practice Wednesday, don't practice Thursday, practice a little bit on Friday, and they're good to go, but we'll see.
He's a guy that you got to have in this offense when it's really going. I mean, he's a guy that can move the chains for you and get those extra yards and,
he
and run through tackles.
Hasn't gotten enough targets lately.
I know.
Especially this past game. What did he have this past game? He had 4 catches for 33 yards, and it was against a Titans defense that was missing their 2 starting inside linebackers. I mean, that's like attack, right? I mean, that's first thing on your mind if you've got a couple guys that are missing at the middle of that defense, and they didn't, they didn't do enough as far as attacking anywhere. I think in that ball game, he only scored 10 points, and definitely didn't do enough. You want to get the ball to Brian, you want to get the ball to Parker, but Evans some easy completions, but not a lot of easy completions early in that ball game.
Josh Hines Allen closing in on the franchise sack record. He needs 3.5 sacks to become the solo leader. 55.
3 to tie.
3 to tie. 3.5 to take the lead over Tony Bracken. So he in theory could get there this week with a massive game against Olu Fashanu, the left tackle.
Very well could. And Fashanu, we had a debate as to the proper pronunciation.
It was not a debate.
Well, it kind of was.
No, there was no debate.
I made it a debate.
I was right the whole time.
No.
Oh, you just were wrong.
I'm going to show you their press release.
I know this is going to be tough for you to hear. You were wrong. Tough.
Oh, it was kind of funny because JP, the phonetic spelling on the flip card says fashion. Ooh.
Because that's how it's spelled or pronounced.
But in the the Jets release, the press release, they actually have it phonetically spelled Fa, F-A-H, Sha, S-H-U-H, and then Nu. So Fa, Sha, Nu.
Well, they were wrong.
Not Fashanu.
They were wrong.
Maybe he's wanting to get into fashion.
Maybe
sounds
so.
better saying Fashanu. But anyway.
Either way, he's a rookie, and he's going up against Hines Allen.
My point is he's a first-round pick from Penn State, left tackle, wasn't in the starting lineup to start the year because they had Tyron Smith, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys. But he went on injury reserve with a neck and is gone for the year, so the first-round pick is in the lineup. And the first-round pick he's got some issues.
Like?
I will tell you that when he sets too wide. He doesn't set at an angle going back to help any kind of game reaction with the guard. Mm-hmm. So he kind of puts himself on an island that way. And if I'm the Jaguars defensively, I'm running games all day long on him. I'm going to have his head spinning so bad, he's not going to know what's going on. He's got a weakness right there. And if they don't take advantage of it by gaming him up, and I'm talking TEs, ETs, the defensive tackles, games with the defensive tackles.
I'm aware what a defensive tackle is.
But there's also a game that they do sometimes with the linebacker, and it's like a pick play. So the defensive end runs up the field on the snap. The linebacker on the snap attacks the inside hip of the tackle, bumps the hip, okay, and then pushes the tackle up the field. The end loops underneath, and then the linebacker works to containment. It's a great. It's like a chip kind of game technique that works brilliantly at times. So they got to break out all that stuff on this guy and make this rookie not know which way is up and which way is down.
How's the rest of their
Or should I say which way is left and which way is
right, up, down, whatever. Yeah. How's the rest of the offensive line for the Jets?
I mean, they're okay. I mean, the right tackle, Morgan Moses, they got in a trade from Baltimore. He got hurt this past game, had a wrist, and he's a good player. But if he's not there, they've got a serious weakness at right tackle. The center is small, not very strong. Joe Tippmann, he was a second-round pick last year out of Wisconsin. The best offensive lineman, or the two best offensive linemen that they have, is Elijah Vera Tucker, the right guard, first-round pick out of Tony Baselli's school, University of Southern California. Mm-hmm. And then John Simpson, who was a free agent that they acquired from the Baltimore Ravens, who's a pretty good player. I don't say a great player, but a good player. And he's been pretty good for them. So they have a weakness at center who's not strong, a left guard, a tackle who's raw, and a right tackle that may be a backup. That's why you've got to get – because here's the reality. Aaron Rodgers can't run like he used to, but he still can move.
Yeah, and he's crafty, right?
He still can move.
He's not just going to sit back there and take a bunch of hits. He'll get rid of the ball.
Yeah, he's not – it's not like all of a sudden he's become Tom Brady. I mean, he can still move, and he can still throw on the run. So the Jaguars have to be prepared for that. But, I mean, again, he's 41 years old. I mean, smack him in the chops a little bit. Get him off the spot. Make him uncomfortable. Make him feel the pain. At 41, man, you don't take hits like you used to when you were 21.
The season high sacks allowed by the Jets is 5 earlier in the year.
In a game?
Yep.
Okay. You couldn't, get over 5, I don't think, because we're kind of talking about Tony Bracken's old record, Josh Hines Allen breaking that. Could he break it in this game? He could. Is it likely? The one thing Aaron Rodgers does, he does a great job of getting the ball out. A lot of quick throws, gets the ball out to Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams in quick fashion. So 3 might be a little lofty, but it's possible against the Rook.
Yeah, love that.
The Rook.
The rookie. Olu Fashanu from Penn State.
Fashanu.
That's incorrect. Coming up in a few minutes, the Doug Pederson Show, Jaguars head coach. We'll hear from the head coach in studio with us. What do you want to hear from the head coach?
I guarantee that they had a much better week this week than the last 5 weeks.
You think?
Yeah. I think that things have been better. Was it 5 weeks? 6 weeks, actually, because you had a bye in there. Oof. So you had to kind of stew on losses for 6 weeks. That's not what you want to do.
And, I want to hear, 4 games to go. It's the same question most every week now. How do you keep this team going and motivated when they're out of it? And,
that's not easy.
The Jets have the same issue.
But that's the job of coaches, is to find ways to motivate when there's no obvious motivation. And right now there's no obvious motivation as far as there's no gold at the end of the rainbow for this football team right now. So you've got to find a way to be a professional, to self-motivate, to rally your teammates, to kind of band together and find a way to collectively motivate each other. That's not easy.
It's not easy at all. And we'll get his thoughts on Mac Jones' performance and how that changed as the game went along, fourth quarter especially, and how his practice week has been. His personality. I mean, we see that out there all the time. And it can be a good thing for the team to have a little energy out there, but if things aren't going so well, I'm curious if that can go the other way.
And also want to get his thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, just because, Doug played the position. Aaron Rodgers has been a really good football player for a long time. His quarterback rating is, I think, the highest in NFL history, which he has a career rating of 102.7, which is simply amazing. Which that won't stand. Eventually somebody will break that because it's such a passing league nowadays anyway. But how about this? 495 touchdowns he has thrown in his career.
Wow.
495.
Let's hope he doesn't get to 500 this week.
Good Lord.
That'd be bad.
He's got 125 games of over 100 quarterback rating. 125.
Yeah, and he's over. He's 8th on the all-time passing yards list. Went over 60,000 earlier this year.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. And what makes him special, or what made him special for so long, was his ability to extend the play and to make things happen off schedule, which Father Time takes a little bit of that away.
Coming up next, the Doug Pederson Show. The head coach will be in studio with us. This has been Jaguars Happy Hour.
Welcome to the Doug Pederson Show. Brought to you by Fresh from Florida. JP Shadrick and former Jaguar Jeff Lageman discuss the latest Jaguars news with the head coach. The Doug Pederson Show starts right now.
Welcome in the Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida from the Hyundai Studios. We're on the Jaguars Radio Network. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman and head coach Doug Pederson in studio with us, coming off a win last week. Coach, how's the feeling in the building after the winning result?
Gosh, yeah, it's great. It's great. It's obviously a different air, different feeling. The guys are obviously excited. It's been a while, but you know what? I don't care how they come, right? I don't care if it's 2-0. A win is a win is a win in this league, and guys are to be commended. They played for 60 minutes. They battled their tails off, and we found out and figured out a way to win.
Yeah, what I loved is that the game was close, like many games have been before, where you've had 7 games you lost by 1 possession. But you guys made the plays necessary. And it wasn't like you made a ton of plays on offense, but you made just enough to get the win. Boy, and I love the way that the defense really rose up and just kind of made the plays when they had to give the ball back to your offense.
And the defense has done that, for the most part all season, right? They've really kept our offense in the game, and it was the same way, this past Sunday. 4 quarters, offense didn't get rolling really till the 4th quarter, and we had some opportunities offensively. We just sort of shot ourselves in the foot. But I thought defensively, I know we gave up the rushing yards and some of that, but when the plays needed to be made, especially down the stretch, we were able to make them. We kept them out of the end zone, in some critical 4th down stops deep into the red zone, things like that. So, hats off to the defense. Did an outstanding job.
And one guy that really I thought came to play, which the opportunities were there in the second half, Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know what it is. It seems like he is an igniter, kind of a fire starter for your football team. And when he gets the ball, the energy level just seems to raise amongst the whole team.
It does. And coaching tip of the week is get him the ball sooner. And so, but that's the thing is you try early in a football game to dial up his number, and sometimes the ball is going to go other places, right? I mean, that's just the nature of the game. But when he does get the ball in his hand, he's dynamic, he's electric, he's a physical runner more than people think. And he does. He brings a nice little spark to our offense, and that's what we needed in that second half to obviously get the 10 points and win the game.
Coach, he's one of a number of younger players that really stepped up in that game. Jarian Jones on the defensive side with a sack, couple of passes defense. We know about Tank Bigsby and the touchdown late, second-year player. That's a good sign. Guys, really, at this time of year, especially for rookies, there's that wall, right? But when they're taking steps and gaining, that's got to be a great feeling for this.
It's a great feeling. Jarian played probably his best game total, in total. BT, we know BT. Obviously, Buster Brown, Monteric Brown played an outstanding football game last week. I even thought Mason Smith had a better football game as a D lineman last week. So a lot of our young players are beginning to, I think the light bulb is coming on just how they need to play in these games. Every NFL game is different. But every NFL game is tough, and there's more of a mental toughness there than there is a physical toughness, right? So I think these guys are learning that. They're understanding what we're asking them to do from a coaching standpoint, and you're starting to see that growth, in all those players. There was
2 defensive plays that kind of stood out in my mind in this ball game. When Tennessee had the ball, 1st and goal at the 4, Trayvon's tackle. I mean, I don't know if they get any more physical than that. And then going back to the Jarian Jones sack, Tennessee's got slide protection. They've got it covered. They've got a tackle on them. Did you teach Jarian the old dip, rip, and bend the corner? Or what?
They teach that. Our defensive staff,
nice.
They teach that. They teach on edge rushers like that to really grab some grass if you can, and dip that inside shoulder. And just go back to the play before where he had a PBU, I think, on Calvin. The play before, broke that one up. Then he comes back the exact next play.
Yep.
And gets the sack on Will Levis. So, again, that's just the growth and maturity. And I told Jarian after the game, that's what it looks like when you just do your job and do the things that we've asked you to do. There's maturity in that. And he played an outstanding game and was happy for him.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. Speaking of maturity, Aaron Rodgers is coming to town this week. 20th year in the NFL, of course, with the New York Jets now. And, they don't have the record to show for it. We'll get to their defense in a moment. But still, Aaron Rodgers, the guy's got over 62,000 passing yards in his career.
It's a lot of yards.
Yeah.
It's a lot of yards. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. And he's got the weapons around him. Devontae Adams is back with him, obviously, and Garrett Wilson is there. Conklin, the tight end. Breece Hall earlier, he didn't play last week, but these running backs are electric and they're dynamic. And look, our young players in the secondary are really in for a treat because the ball is going to go whistling by their ear. And they're going to go, where'd that come from? Because that's who Aaron Rodgers is. He gets the ball out of his hand. He's seen just about every defense out there. He's smart. He knows how to manipulate things within his own offense. Sure, he may not scramble like he used to or things, but he's still very dangerous outside of the pocket. So, is somebody that, we've got to control the line of scrimmage. I think our D-line has got to step up and have a big game this week and put pressure on Aaron. Miami did some of that last week and kept him in some longer third down situations, got off the field a little bit. So, listen, it's got to be all hands on deck. It's got to be 11 guys doing their job this Sunday and understanding – really studying the tape and understanding what Aaron can do.
Schematically, when you've got a quarterback like that and then you've got two weapons, it's a lot easier. Like Minnesota came in here and you've got Justin Jefferson, one main guy. But when you have two, like a Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson took a guy to school last week with the Miami Dolphins that we know pretty well. And how do you schematically stop two guys like that?
It's hard to stop two. And that's the thing about it is Aaron does a great job of getting the ball to these guys fast, right? So whatever he sees, he beats the blitz with a throw. He's not going to change a lot of protection stuff. He just and that play you're talking about, he beat Jalen Ramsey on a quick inside slant, and the ball goes whistling past the linebacker, and it's the next thing you know, it's a 25, 30-yard gain down the middle of the field on a 4th and 4, I think it was. And those are the things that you have to prepare for. I don't know necessarily if you're going to be able to eliminate or stop them completely because they're good too, right? But if you can anticipate and know exactly what is coming, it gives you a better opportunity to sort of anticipate, those types of plays
and minimizing the damage, right, so to speak. I mean, because they're going to get their balls,
right.
You try to eliminate that yak, the yards after catch, right?
That's right. So being able to do that, I think this team too, if you can get second longs and third and longs and allow your defensive line where he's got to hold the ball a bit, that right there I think is where they're giving up some sacks in those areas, right? So that's where we need to kind of hone in on this week.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. You said earlier in the week that this is not a 3-10 defense for the Jets. Well, in fact, it's a top 5 defense, ranked 4th in total D, 16th against the run, 4th against the pass, good in situations. They've got players at every level on this defense, don't they?
Yeah, and unfortunately, Robert Saleh was let go, but it's his kind of fingerprints on this, and really kind of bringing that San Francisco style of defense and that mentality. And now, Ulbrich has taken it over and kind of continuing that same thing and putting his spin on it a little bit, but look, it starts with 95. I mean, Mr. Williams as a D tackle, you have to give this guy a lot of respect, just like you did, 98 for Tennessee, right?
Yeah,
Simmons last week, and the Chris Joneses of the world and those interior guys, and it starts with him, and I think that's where Javon Kinlaw, 54, is kind of feeding off of that a little bit, and next thing you know, this whole defense is feeding off of that. So solid defense. It was a really a close game a couple years ago, up there. We had some success, moving the football in that game, but solid defense is going to take a solid performance.
How important is a game, because a lot of people are talking about this, the headlines are kind of like, hey, 2 teams mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. The desire and the want to in a game like this has got to be big, and also a fast start, right?
100%. And it's something I've talked to my team about here really over the course of really since we were eliminated, the loss to Houston and even going into Tennessee. It's like guys, I know we're not playing for postseason, a chance to play in the postseason and continue our season, but everybody's playing and coaching for something, and it's pride, and you want to put your best foot forward, and you want to go out and compete, and so I think from that standpoint, there's enough energy and excitement around that to just go out and cut it loose, have fun, play with your brothers for another 3 hours on a Sunday afternoon, but play well. And you play against good teams. Obviously, you need to play your best football, and this is going to be one of those games where we have to play our best football again, in order to beat this team, because they're scoring 20 plus points a game, and Aaron's going to score. I mean, that's just the thing about it. So we have to do our part offensively. We got to stay on the field. We did a better job on third down last week. I think 48 or something % last week. But we've got to score. That's the key right now, is we got to score points.
And obviously the key to that is your quarterback. Mac Jones is going to make his fourth start of the season. What do you expect out of him now that he's got some games under his belt?
The expectation is just for him to just see it and cut it loose. Don't hang on to it. He sees things very well, but I need him to just trust it, right? And I think there's some hesitation, just a touch, not a lot, because he puts us in the right plays all the time. He gets us going. But I just need him to go be Mac Jones. Go do what you do in practice and cut it loose, have some fun. Trust the guys. If you see BT open, he's probably open. Get him the football. And that's really just run the show. Don't do anything more or anything less. Just run the offense the way it's designed to go, and he'll have a lot of success. And I think building off a couple weeks ago, the Houston game, a little bit last week, putting all of that together, the more comfortable he gets, the better he becomes.
Second time wearing the throwbacks this year. Got to win the last time. So I'm sure you like these, right?
Great. I mean, let's do it. Let's wear them every week.
That's right.
Here on out, let's wear the throwbacks. But, yeah, it's a great uniform. It's an honor to wear, the throwback and just kind of represent the old teams of the Jaguars, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Doug, thanks for the time. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us in about 20 minutes. Chris Myers of the NFL on Fox. This is the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
It's what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA to not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units, to not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
big savings?
Yep, which means...
it's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
We're back. The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center. Our thanks to head coach Doug Pederson. This week's game, Jets-Jaguars, presented by Hyundai. Get a great deal on a new Hyundai at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today. Yeah, things are better when you win games around here, Logs. That's how that works, right?
Air smells better, right? You feel a little bit healthier, a little pep in your step,
Yeah.
Pay attention in the meetings a little bit better. And stop thinking about, we only got 4 weeks to go. I mean, you still kind of have that a little bit, but I mean, it's different. And look, in the business of winning, when you don't win, it's no fun.
That's what we're here for, right? Win football games.
Well, that's what you play the game for. And when you don't win, it causes a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress across a lot of different people, just the way it is. That's what you sign up for.
That's why they get paid the big bucks too. Standards are high.
You think the Bucs are pretty good? Hey, I might have mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
I was just curious, because Aaron Rodgers is this year cash that he's making with the Jets, because there was a lot made that Aaron Rodgers kind of gave the Jets a discount for them to be able to have the ability to go out and sign some other people.
Okay.
So cash this year, he's making about $38 million. Not bad.
That's all?
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
In his career, he has made 10 times that. Over $380 million.
Pretty good.
That's great. I mean, that's a 20-year career. I mean, it's impressive. Very impressive. And Trevor Lawrence will surpass that.
Absolutely.
If
we hope so.
If he stays healthy and plays and everything else.
Hey,
that's why they pay those guys the big money, because they can be the difference in winning and losing.
That's right.
When you have one, you can win Super Bowls, as Aaron has shown to do. Now, that was a few years ago. And Trevor, that's the idea as well there.
But obviously, Doug Pederson had nothing but complimentary things to say about Rodgers there, and rightly so. He's seen him a bunch of times and knows the position well, and knows that he can be a real danger to a defense that has some younger players on the field all of a sudden.
Well, look, the Jaguars' defense has struggled, and I think there is legitimate concern there. The Jaguars have given up more explosive plays than anybody in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Ranked 31 against the pass. They were 32nd against the Titans, helped a little bit. So now they're not the bottom of the basement, but they're still the bottom of the basement as far as yards allowed per game at 32nd. Not an easy matchup for them. And Doug is rightly concerned and very complimentary of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not the same player that he was a few years ago, but he's still a really good player. He still sees the field well, gets the ball out of his hands pretty quickly. But they've got some issues, and at times he's been the issue, and at times the issue has been offensive line or wide receivers. Because you look at the numbers. I mean, points per game, they're averaging 19.3. You look at the last 3 games, they're averaging about 24 the last 3 games.
And they've had fourth quarter leads that they've blown.
So they're playing better as an offense in the last couple games. So that's a little bit of an eye-opener that they are getting better on the offensive side of the ball. And I think Aaron Rodgers has got something to prove. Look, when you get brought in to lead a franchise to a Super Bowl and your record is what it is, look, you're talking about a Hall of Fame guy that's got a lot of pride. And from what he said, he wants to play next year. Well, if you want to play next year, you need to show that you can lead a team to wins. And so he's got a few games left to do that. And he's going to be looking to prove that starting this Sunday here in Jacksonville.
We're back in a moment. We'll get into the other side of the equation this week at quarterback. Mac Jones getting another start for the Jaguars. That's coming up next. It's the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Can you imagine rising for work before the crack of dawn? Tending to hundreds of acres of land before dusk? Well, That's what happens on 47,000 Florida farms every day. Florida's farmers work hard to grow nutritious food for you and your family. And you can help support them by enjoying delicious Fresh from Florida produce. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo where you shop, or visit freshfromflorida.com to learn more.
Football is back. Celebrate with a gay Duval meal deal. Score 2 roller grill favorites and a 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.50. That means you can choose any 2 to pair with your Coke. 2 hot dogs, 2 tornadoes, 2 roller bites, or mix and match. Whether you're stopping for a quick snack or tailgating with friends, this is a victory for every Jags fan. Deal happening now through January 2nd, 2025. Stop by to purchase in store.
Football and Miller Lite. Duval's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going well past postgame. Sunday night overtimes. Followed by Monday morning pride. Knocking on bar tops for luck. Kicking back on any given Sunday. You never forget the way some things taste. Jags football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
And we continue on the Jaguars Radio Network, presented by the University of Florida, #1 university and the U.S. News and World Report's #1 state for education. The Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Our thanks to head coach Doug Pederson joining us in the opening segment each and every week. Coming up in about 10 minutes, a little less than that, Chris Myers of the NFL on Fox. He'll have the call of this Jets-Jaguars game this week. We'll get his thoughts on 2 teams that are out of the race. The first matchup of mathematically eliminated teams of this NFL season coming up. Mac Jones, though, loves to see the Jets on the schedule. Loves it. Absolute has to. I haven't asked him, but I'm sure he does. He's 5-0 against the Jets in his career, all with New England. So, obviously, those are against Zach Wilson. He's no longer there. He's the backup in Denver now. We'll see if any of that can carry over this week. But it is interesting that the Patriots just kind of have the Jets' number, even though the Jets have this defense that has pieces to it and good parts and good players. Mac Jones has had their number.
Well, I think give a little credit to Bill Belichick, too. By the way, congratulations to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get the job at UNC Chapel Hill.
If you were under a rock today, yes, Bill Belichick arrived in Chapel Hill.
It's not going to be so good for my Virginia Cavaliers, that hire.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think that's going to help out much at all.
A little more NIL money might help. Charlottesville.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot floating around in Charlottesville. I got a feeling that the NIL money will become flowing very freely in Chapel Hill now that Bill Belichick is in the mix.
Absolutely.
Which is going to be fun to watch, by the way. I'm totally sidetracking the conversation here. But it's totally worthy of doing that. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. I mean, and for the greatest coach of all time to sign what was like a 5-year deal, supposedly?
Correct.
5-year deal.
Well, it's out there. It's an actual public record because it's a public university. So, yeah, 5-year deal.
Okay, 5-year deal.
About $10 million a year.
And how many games away from being the all-time winningest head coach in the National Football League is he away?
14 to tie, 15 to surpass Shula.
I mean, isn't that amazing?
Yeah. But now, I mean, in theory, how many teams would really give him a chance? I mean, he interviewed with, the Falcons last year?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Like, all right, maybe how many places are really willing to give him full control of everything anymore in the NFL?
I think that's probably the big concern that people have about him is that can he work well with others?
Right.
because it may start out where, I want to let the general manager be the general manager, but then, the coach wants to pick the groceries a little bit, I think is what he said or Bill Parcells said that years ago.
Certainly did.
But congratulations to him. It's cool, and it's good for the sport. It's good for football, and it's really good for college football.
Bill Walsh did it, coming out, won 3 Super Bowls with San Francisco, went to Stanford, had a 5-year deal there, I think, but ended up really good the first year, didn't perform so well the next 2. This is like 1990 to 92.
But different time.
And then retired, right?
But different time.
Totally different era.
You can pay a good football team now. I mean, you can make a team good that.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, because you can bring guys in with the NIL money.
Portal, everything.
Yeah, it's crazy how that is. It's literally, the college football might as well go ahead and just get a union, get a collective bargaining agreement, get a salary cap, or however they're going to manage that, because it's not going to be equal across the board. But right now it's the wild, wild west, and for those that can run it and could fund it, can beat everybody else.
Absolutely.
It's
no doubt.
You can get all the players for the money, right? I mean, it's like baseball. I mean, that the Dodgers are going to be good because they got the highest payroll.
Yeah, and they're paying
the Yankees, right?
They're going to pay the luxury tax, and it's fine.
And they don't care.
They don't care.
There is no luxury tax
part of
in
the
college
business.
Football right now.
By the way, they just gave Soto. The Mets just gave him $750 million over 10. I forget how many years. It's
how
crazy.
Much?
$750 million.
Wow.
780, I think. 780.
Wow.
Yeah, all guaranteed, by the way.
Gosh,
in baseball.
That's amazing. Good for them, though.
Makes you want to go pick up a glove, a baseball bat, swing lefty.
A little too late for me and you,
JP.
JP.
A little late for us.
A little too late.
Unfortunately. We're back in a moment.
Maybe in the next life.
Yeah. Come back as a baseball player.
I want to be
a left-hander.
Switch hitting, switch pitching, home run hitting, Babe Ruth.
The whole deal.
Yeah, right? I mean,
you want to be Shohei Ohtani is what you want to be.
No, I want to be Babe Ruth. He pitched, right? He was an ace
He wasn't
pitcher.
a switch hitter, though.
No, I know.
He was a lefty.
But, I mean, I don't need to switch it as long as I'm busting him out of the fence and all that.
That's true. We're back in a moment. Chris Myers has covered some baseball over his illustrious career, and we will hear from him coming up. He has the call of the game this week on the NFL on Fox. That's next on the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
To aim higher, run faster. It's what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA. To not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units. To not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
Big savings?
Yep, which means...
It's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023, CY Industry reported total sales.
Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Jaguars tickets. And even if your plans get broken up or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida. JP Shadrick with you. More Jeff Lageman coming up shortly. Chris Myers has the call of the Jets-Jaguars game this week on the NFL on Fox. Longtime broadcaster, of course, with ESPN back in the early days with SportsCenter, the Up Close show. He won an Emmy. He covers Major League Baseball for Marquee, covering the Cubs. And, of course, all over the NFL on Fox each and every week. 2, 3, and 10 teams going at it this week. And we discussed the motivation down the stretch for both the Jets and the Jags.
Yeah, well, I have analysts who played the game, and you still have a job to do, right? I mean, whether you're a coach or a player, you're still getting paid, and you have fans watching. You have a TV audience. You have a responsibility, just like we do, to call it. And you can have a competitive, exciting game, and this one I think will be. I don't want to say they're equally disappointing teams for what I know we all expected coming into the year. And I saw some fight from both of them last week, and just doing it a little early, scouting. Obviously, the Jets let one slip away against the rival Dolphins, who they can't seem to beat down in Miami. And they do have Aaron Rodgers, who was moving a little bit better than I think he had earlier in the year. And for the Jags, the defensive effort was outstanding to be got to pull that off on the road against a team in the division and against a team. Again, they're trying to find their way. But I do think Mac's got to play better, right? Mac Jones got to, thrust into that position. He's had some time in different places. He gets the win, but didn't do enough, I think, really from his side of things. So thankfully, the defense was able to pull them out, the big run by Bigsby. So what will we get this week? Well, if the Jags defense, they have to be on their game against a guy like Rodgers, who always gets people to jump off sides. He does have his array of receivers when you think of Wilson and Devontae Adams, and Lazard is one of his favorites who's back. So that makes him always difficult. And again, as I said, he's moving around a little bit better, and all it takes is one big play from him in the offense. And if your offense, meaning the Jags, can't put up points, then you're in trouble. So that to me is a key this week. I think the defense will be fine, improving, and at home, that's a plus. The offense has to, have some drives, but get touchdowns at the end of them, not field goals.
Chris, there's a lot of big picture talk around the Jaguars these days. It's year 3 for head coach Doug Pederson. It's year 4 for Trevor Lawrence. He had a lost season in his rookie year in 21. He was injured a lot last year. At some point, the injury bug has to be a concern when you've already paid a guy $250 million in a contract. I know you're not a doctor. Maybe you are. We haven't really talked that much. But how concerning is that when your franchise guy just continues to get injured year after year?
Yeah, and you can ask the Dolphins about that as well, right? That just down there. And then you look at guys like Baker Mayfield that are running and jumping and falling and playing hurt. So sometimes it's just unfortunate. And I don't think it's a lack of having covered some of the Jag games in the past and been around Trevor Wilson, his commitment and what he does to prepare physically. I have, and this is what coaches have told me in the past, or those that have played the game, the taller, more angular quarterbacks, the frame, the taller you get, you have to be a certain size, obviously, to be able to throw over people. But they do seem more susceptible to some injuries, whether it's, the bigger windup or when they slide or a bigger target. I'm not sure about that. And no, I'm not a doctor, but it is a concern, especially when the organization, the franchise, has committed so much to Trevor Lawrence. But you talk to him, you like the guy, he prepares, you believe in him, his teammates do. And again, early, I know he wasn't playing well even before the injury, or the offense wasn't, in fairness to him, but you lose Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk and they're going, you're starting receivers. So some other teams can adapt a little bit easier. The Jags didn't. And I really, in the bigger picture of things, I expected, having been around Doug Pederson, covered some of those successful years with the Eagles, I expected big things here. And I'm not sure why it hasn't worked. Obviously, the health of the quarterback is one thing. But I can't seem to figure that out. And that's up to ownership and the front office. And if there's needs to be changes there when they review things, and they know better than I, they've been watching on a daily basis, then I think that's what around the league, I think that's what's anticipated. And I hate to speak like that for Coach Pederson or Trent Baalke, who, have their current jobs, but ultimately that's what's out there. And I don't know what ownership is thinking, but ultimately we'll find out. But a strong finish and a team fighting hard like we saw in Tennessee last week in this game, I think will go a long way.
Chris Myers of the NFL on Fox, the full conversation on the official Jaguars podcast network. A longtime broadcaster, of course, ESPN now with Fox forever, it feels like, has NASCAR coverage coming up at Speed Weeks as well. Jeff Lageman will return. We'll get into the Jaguars defense next. It's the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Floridians, do you know how close you are to freshness? It's not a plane or a ship ride away. It's not across an ocean or over the equator. It's not even a far drive. The peak of freshness is at your grocery store, and it's called Fresh from Florida. Fresh from Florida is local produce grown by farmers right here in our own state, meaning it's always fresh, always in season, and always mouth-wateringly good. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo or ask for it by name where you shop.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
What's Here is a place that generations have trusted to help their kids grow up healthy and strong. What's Here are caregivers with knowledge and expertise rivaling any children's hospital in the world. What's Here is the only Level 1 pediatric trauma center in our region. What's Here is Wolfson Children's Hospital, with the technology, research, and dedication to save and change countless young lives. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
Don't you love the sounds of the holiday season? The bells, the sleighs. Woohoo! If so, your holiday's now even more magical, because now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, you can take home your favorite Hyundai with some of the season's greatest savings.
Drive away now in the Santa Fe with 1.99% APR for 72 months. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offer ends January 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
We're on the Jaguars Radio Network, presented by the University of Florida, #1 university in the U.S. News and World Report's #1 state for education. The Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman back with us after hearing from Chris Myers, NFL on Fox. Mark Schlereth is his analyst. Jed Hale is on the
Schlereth.
Yep, and I got it wrong. You're right.
Yeah, that's known Mark a long time.
That's your guy.
Super good guy. Was a really good guard in the National Football League. Played for the Washington Redskins, now the Washington Commanders. But he was a tough guy, part of the Hogs, kind of Hogs Part 2, not the original. And the one thing that was remarkable about Mark Schlereth is the number of knee surgeries that he had. I don't remember the exact number, but I'll have to research that, which means Google that. But he had some crazy amount of knee surgeries through his career. Probably got knee replacements now.
I would think so, probably.
But also, not only was he good in Washington, he continued his career in Denver and won a Super Bowl there with John Elway during their heyday as well. So I think he was on 3 or 4 Super Bowl teams in his career.
Wow.
Yeah. And a very good broadcaster.
Yeah.
Does a great job on TV.
It's a good crew. Chris also, as we mentioned, does NASCAR. They've got that's coming up in January, February. The season starts again, so he's the anchor of NASCAR coverage.
And he does Tampa in the preseason.
Yeah, believe so.
Because we always see him at because the Jaguars always play the Tampa Bay Bucks in the preseason and get a chance to chat it up with Chris at those games as well.
He also does the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show every year.
That's kind of different.
Yeah, we talk about it in the podcast, so check it out on the official Jag. I'm like, how in the world do you have that on your radar?
Is he into dogs or something?
I think he's owned dogs, I guess, and just somehow came across it.
Well, did you ask him?
Well, you got to go to the podcast to find
When's
out.
When's that get?
I think it's up now or coming soon.
All right, Jaguars.com.
The official Jaguars Podcast Network. You can find it on the website.
I will go there to get it.
Yeah, check it out. Speaking of, register your furry friend for the Jaguars official four-legged fan club for pets. Presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital, your pet will receive access to exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout the season. Visit jaguars.com/promotions/four-legged fan club and sign up today. Jaguars defense last week, good, real good. In fact, 3 fourth-down stops, 2 of those in the tight red zone, and got the job done. Allowed only 6 points to Tennessee. A little different challenge this week. Hall of Fame quarterback, guys on the outside that can really play, and Davante Adams, who's been at it for a long time with Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, young up-and-coming player in the league and a talented wide receiver. And they've got a running game a little bit too. I mean, now they're 3-10. We get that, but they have the weapons that can hurt a defense like this.
Well, they've been. I'm actually was sitting here typing up my ask the experts about the outcome of the game with John Ocher. John Ocher publishes on Saturdays on Jaguars.com.
I got to do that too. I haven't done mine yet.
I was in the midst of doing that, and I was just writing that this is a game that you're going to have to worry about stopping the 2 wide receivers that Aaron Rodgers has. I mean, if you look, both of those guys are coming off their best game of the year, both of them. Combined, they had 23 catches. I will just type this in, 16 catches for 223 yards and a touchdown. So these guys are legit. And Garrett Wilson will get anybody turned around. Turned around Jalen Ramsey quite a bit, as Doug Pederson talked about. And there was multiple times that he got Jalen Ramsey. Not just one. He got him multiple times. And then Jalen had some good plays as well. But Jalen used to be able to lock down anybody. Now, Garrett Wilson's a talented player. I don't know if you happen to see that circus catch that he had earlier this year. I think it was against the Texans where it was just a crazy catch. I mean, just guy's got super, super talent, and he gets targeted a ton. I mean, I think he's one of the most targeted wide receivers in the National Football League. So Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the ball his way a ton. By the way, second most targeted in the National Football League.
Wow.
128 targets.
Jeez.
It's a lot.
Feed him.
Yeah, well, I mean, Davante Adams is not getting those kind of targets, and I think he's getting a little ticked off about it. Because Aaron's supposed to be his guy, and he gets the trade to come to hang with Aaron, and he's not getting the targets that Garrett Wilson is. But then again, Garrett Wilson's he's got a little bit of juice to him.
He does.
He's a young player.
Good player.
Jets are going to have to pay him after this year.
Probably so, if they have any money left.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Paying Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We will. We're back in a moment. 3 former Jaguars named to the College Football Hall of Fame. We'll get to those guys when we come back. It's the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
To aim higher, run faster. It's what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA to not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units, to not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
How close can you get with Verizon Access? Front row close. Red carpet close.
Oh my God!
Backstage passes close. Playing quarterback for your favorite NFL team close. Okay, not that close. But watching from the sidelines close? You bet. Get into the experiences you love, like concerts, games, and exclusive pre-sales just for being a Verizon customer. Verizon Access, you're in. Woo! Learn more at verizon.com/access.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored Administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Don't you love the sounds of the holiday season? The bells, the sleighs. Woohoo! If so, your holiday's now even more magical because now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, you can take home your favorite Hyundai with some of the season's greatest savings.
Drive away now in the Santa Fe with 1.99% APR for 72 months. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offer ends January 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Jaguars tickets. And even if your plans get broken up or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
And the Doug Pederson Show is presented by Fresh from Florida. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Glad you're with us. Heading into Week 15, the Jets and the Jaguars with a 1 o'clock kickoff time at the bank this Sunday. Congratulations to 3 former Jaguars, part of the College Football Hall of Fame class announced and awarded just the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And names you know.
I know one of them, Paul Posluszny.
Correct.
I know that one name, but that's the only name that I know.
Paul Posluszny, of course, at Penn State, one of the best linebackers to ever come through Linebacker U, 2-time first-team All-Big Ten, the Butkus Award winner in 2005, 2-time Bednarik Award winner, highly decorated, certainly, at Penn State in a place where they decorate linebackers. He's one of the best.
By the way, to make the College Football Hall of Fame as a linebacker from Linebacker U is tremendous. Congratulations to him, because that literally is Linebacker U. They've had some great ones go through there. Great ones.
The other 2 former Jaguars from Stanford University, running back Toby Gerhart.
Yeah.
He was the second-place Heisman finisher in 2009, the closest Heisman vote ever when Mark Ingram won the award.
Yeah.
And so Gerhart, of course, with the Jaguars from 14 to 15.
I think he still lives here. At least he did for a little while.
He did, really?
Yeah.
Of course, second-round pick of the Vikings, where he started his career. And the other former Jaguar inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame, Justin Blackman, Oklahoma State.
Just a freak.
Absolutely.
When I say the freak, he's just a freak athletically.
I mean, 2-time Biletnikoff Award winner and 2-time unanimous All-American in 10 and 11. Fantastic receiver in college, certainly.
I just hope that Justin is doing okay in life. You know, he's one of those guys that I always kind of worried about, always rooted for, liked him, had some demons, always rooted for him, always will, and I hope he's doing good.
They were all at the awards ceremony, it looked like on the video the other night. They had them all on the dais together, and everybody got to speak a few words and things, and so you got to hear from all those guys.
Yeah. Justin was one of those guys that never had blazing speed, but he just had a dynamic control of his body. And I used to say this about him back when he was playing here. I was like, he's like a cat. If a cat loses balance and falls off of a fence, it lands on its feet.
Right.
And you always wonder, how in the world do they do that? They just had that ability. Justin athletically used to have a freakish ability to contort and control his body kind of in that fashion. Obviously, you couldn't throw him up and he couldn't land on his feet, maybe from a fence or whatever. But my point is just the freakish athleticism and balance and coordination. Wow. Super, super talented guy. But again,
and a massive catch radius too. If anything's like near him, he's just snagging it.
And it wasn't because of any of his measurables.
Yeah.
It was because of that athletic control that he had of his body, which was just impressive to watch. And super guy. Like the guy. Know he had his issues, and I wish him well. I hope he's doing good.
I'll never forget 2012, that game down in Houston, where they go up and down the field all game long. Blaine Gabbert gets hurt. Henne comes in on relief in the first quarter, and it is game on. And it's Blackman and Cecil Shorts going off for the Jags, and, of course, Johnson going off for the Houston Texans in that game. And Johnson got the catch in overtime for the touchdown.
Yeah, in a perfect world, you'd love to have a guy that has kind of that skill set that Justin Blackman had to pair with a guy that has the go deep ability of a Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, if I had to pick one of the most unheralded wide receivers in Jaguars history, not the lesser known guys or the guys that haven't proved it yet or still were very young or are young, I mean, those two guys would be right there at the top. And obviously Jimmy and Keenan and those guys are at the top of the list, but as far as young guys go, and obviously Justin's not young anymore, but we didn't see him past his youth here. He never got past that point.
Never did. Blackman in that game, by the way, 7 catches, 236 yards, a touchdown, an 81-yarder. Andre Johnson, 14 for 273 and a touchdown in overtime.
And just if I remember right, Justin had like a size 15 shoe or something
right.
that.
Yes.
I remember when somebody told me that. I mean, literally the first time I met him, I said, "Let me see them feet." I was like, "My God," because he was what, 6'1", 2?
Yeah, he wasn't.
Well, it's not like he was 6'5" or
No.
6'6" to have size 15. Like, wow.
So, congratulations, Paul Posluszny, Toby Gerhart, Justin Blackman in the College Football Hall of Fame. We're back in a moment. Final thoughts of this Jets-Jaguars matchup. Week 15 at the bank coming up. It's the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Can you imagine rising for work before the crack of dawn? Tending to hundreds of acres of land before dusk? Well, that's what happens on 47,000 Florida farms every day. Florida's farmers work hard to grow nutritious food for you and your family. And you can help support them by enjoying delicious Fresh from Florida produce. Look for the sunny Fresh from Florida logo where you shop, or visit freshfromflorida.com to learn more.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Don't you love the sounds of the holiday season? The bells, the sleighs. Woohoo! If so, your holiday's now even more magical because now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, you can take home your favorite Hyundai with some of the season's greatest savings.
Drive away now in the Santa Fe with 1.99% APR for 72 months. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offer ends January 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
What's Here is a place that generations have trusted to help their kids grow up healthy and strong. What's Here are caregivers with knowledge and expertise rivaling any children's hospital in the world. What's Here is the only Level 1 pediatric trauma center in our region. What's Here is Wolfson Children's Hospital with the technology, research, and dedication to save and change countless young lives. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
Hi, this is Jeff Norman.
And I'm Mike Jones.
And we are the owners of Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. With the holiday season upon us, we want to take a moment to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and say thank you to our amazing customers.
We're so grateful for the trust you place in us each year. It's been a pleasure serving you, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season with family and friends.
And remember, if you have any issues, we'll be here to help throughout the holidays and beyond.
Merry Christmas from all of us at Duck Duck Rooter.
Football is back. Celebrate with a Gay Duval meal deal. Score 2 Roller Grill favorites and a 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.50. That means you can choose any 2 to pair with your Coke. 2 hot dogs, 2 tornadoes, 2 roller bites, or mix and match. Whether you're stopping for a quick snack or tailgating with friends, this is a victory for every Jags fan. Deal happening now through January 2nd, 2025. Stop by to purchase in store.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
Welcome back. Final moments of the Doug Pederson Show. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Jets Jaguars coming up. Our final thoughts in a moment. I left a former Jaguar out of the College Football Hall of Fame.
You did.
Deion Figures.
And former Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. First-round pick. Thorpe Award winner in 92. Part of the 1990 Colorado National Championship team. And was here with the Jaguars 97-98. My apologies to Deion Figures.
Yeah,
I left him out.
Deion was a talented corner. Was kind of surprised that there was always something about him that never kind of made him latch on. One place for very long because first round pick and Pittsburgh moved on from him. Lasted in Jacksonville for a while, and the Jaguars moved on from him. But outstanding college football player. That was back when Colorado was paying the hell out of their players before NIL.
Not quite the SMU version of NIL. But
no,
they
didn't get the death penalty, but they got pretty close to it.
They got a national championship.
Yeah,
a share of one at least.
Yeah, they
split with Georgia Tech that year.
Best money can buy right there that year. JP, they were paying him now. I mean, I'm just saying they were paying him.
A little jealous?
There's some. Well, no, I'm not jealous. I mean, look, in the ACC back in the day when we used to play Clemson, we knew they were getting paid way better than we didn't get any money.
Oh,
UVA.
okay. Oh, you like Lily White and
no, we didn't get any money. We didn't get any money.
Oh, okay.
No money.
Really?
Zero.
Squeaky clean.
Clemson, no.
Okay.
Man, they've been paying their players long before NIL as well.
That's great. Listen to this. Old rivalries die hard. Come on, man.
No, I kind of know that for.
Well, but tell us about Virginia Tech too. I bet those guys all got.
No,
it too.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about Virginia Tech. I just know firsthand that Clemson players got paid.
That's fine. Okay.
Got some friends that went there, JP. I know.
But don't tell me.
Wonder how much Shatley made there.
Virginia, right? Big bag.
We got to ask Shatley. We got to get him on the show and ask him how much money Clemson was paying.
That's the after-show podcast that we're still trying to do. All right, Jets, Jaguars.
I'm just joking about that, by the way.
Anyway, of course.
About Shatley getting paid. He was probably now Trevor was probably getting paid. No, just kidding.
Love it. Hey, 2 teams out of the race, but 4 games to go. Got to finish. And, hey,
the game of want, JP.
How much do the Jags want it?
It's a game of want. And I mean, that's where you're at. Both teams are at that point this year. The Jets a little bit more facing that news recently, so it'll be interesting to see how they respond this week facing their reality, because they are now mathematically eliminated, and the Jaguars have had that reality for a week already and were able to win last week. So it's going to be a game of want. Who wants to play? Who wants to play well? Who's got more to play for? I think everybody's got something to play for, because you're always trying to play for the individual corporation that you are as a football player and the individual corporation that you are as a coach. There's a lot of coaches that are going to be wanting to coach well for their coaching lives on both staffs. It's just the reality of football.
Throwback uniforms.
Looking forward to that.
Well, they're just what you called the uniforms, I guess, back in the day.
Look, I'm excited about it because some players had some personal best days in the Prowler.
Colts game.
Bigsby had a great day, 100-yard game.
The long pass to Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas Jr. had over 100. His best output as far as yardage goes, had a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play like that, wear it all the time. Wear it all the time. Somebody else had a really strong day, and I'm trying to remember who it was in that game. Trevor had an outstanding day.
Sure.
His best day of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, although he's not playing in this game. But, yeah, he had a strong day as well. And it it definitely threw me back a little bit. I was looking down on the field going, yeah, it looks just like the pants are a little different, though, I think. Maybe.
We'll find out.
I don't know. I have to look at them again.
That's Jeff Lageman. I'm JP Shadrick. Our thanks to Chris Myers of the NFL on Fox. And, of course, head coach Doug Pederson, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reaver, David Cho. Thanks to you for listening to the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.